mean, dude, Saturday was a rough day for people who watch combat sports. I had 3 things going minimum, just flipping back and forth. But one of those things was the thing I've been so fucking pumped about for so long. The Sandy Ryan, Mikaela Mayer rematch. But first, I guess we should probably I'll run through the undercard real quick if that's all right.
Yeah.
Miliana Vargas knocked out Giovanni Gonzalez round 2, no surprise. Shu Shu Carrington looked really good. Got the TKO on Jose Enrique Vivas in the 3rd round. He pretty much killed that man in the 2nd round. He was a dead man walking. He wasn't defending himself. He was so out of his own mind that there was no reason for that fight to continue. The ref was like, I guess we have a little time left in the round. We'll let him go and get the rest and see what happens. What happened was he stayed rocked for a full minute, and then he came out rocked, and then he ended it, I think, a minute into the 3rd round, which was ridiculous.
You usually talk about people struggling to get off the stool and struggling to get back into the. My man struggled to get back to the stool. He was done.
And to get off. And I know he wasn't listening to anything his coach was saying.
I've said it 100 times, and I'll say it for the 101st time. I mean, your corner, like, come on, guys. Y'all, I came with you guys. I paid y'all. I've been training with y'all. Like, I need y'all to kind of have my back a little bit in there. Like, stop the fight, dude.
Yeah, and I understand if they we've seen him get hit hard in the gym. We believe in him. Nobody should believe in anybody that much.
No,
that was too much. You let your man get hurt, and it's probably going to have consequences down the line. Not to bring it down too much, but after the fight, Shu Shu, great on the mic as he usually is. He calls out other champions, namely Nick Ball. He calls out Angelo Leo briefly, Steph Fulton, which would be a great fight. Doesn't say Rafael Espinoza. People have been making a bigger deal about it than I think it is. I think he heard that Rafael Espinoza doesn't want to fight him. I don't know. This is all like he said, she said, or he said, or whatever. Promoter said. Oh, go ahead.
Who was it? Who was it in the ring interviewing? Tessitore?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Tessitore said Rafael Espinoza's name. He said you talk about the short guy, Nick Ball. What about the tall guy in your stables, Rafael Espinoza?
But yes, no, he did bring it up.
Okay.
And he seemed like he was a little put on the spot. What is his name? It's not Joe Tessitore, though he was on the call. It was the dude who's a lot more poetic and literary, and always does like the emotional interviews. It's okay, whatever. Well, that guy did bring him up. But, I mean, out of all those dudes for Shu Shu, I mean, I know he wants to be a champion. I know I think he's already 28. It's about time to make that leap. I would be trying my hardest to fight Nick Ball if I was him, because as much as they love him across the pond and they think that he can handle Inoue, I don't. And I think that Shu Shu has a good chance of beating him with the jab he's got, with the reactions that he's got. And if he can keep it at the end of the jab, it's not even a fight. I mean, he drew with Ray Vargas, who was a champion and a solid champion at that, but he's not like a world beater pound for pound dude, and not even close. And he drew with him, and like Ray's been like inactive. And then I thought he lost to Ray Ford, to be honest with you. His last fight, he fucking kicked a guy. I don't think it gave him a huge advantage long run, but like you don't get to like just kick dudes.
He had him in the head.
So I don't know. I don't rate him too highly. Briefly, that's just the thing that happens, man. You get him with the. You can do anything you want to with your fists. Don't just like knee the dude in the thigh. I bet that frog, I bet it hurt. But yeah, if I was Shu Shu, I'd want to go for Nick Ball. I think I don't want to say he's the weakest champion of the 4, but he's the weakest champion of the 4, in my opinion. How do you feel, bro?
I like the matchup, man. I like Nick Ball. I'm a much bigger Nick Ball fan than you are, apparently.
I respect him, sort of. I respect him. I respect his heart. I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like him a lot, and I like that fight a lot. You got 2 aggressive guys. They're gonna go in there, and somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's probably gonna get stopped. It's probably gonna be Nick Ball, but he ain't going out. softly. He ain't going out sad, nothing like that. He's going out there and he's go fight his ass off, and whatever happens is gonna happen. And I like that. I like the puncher chance he got. I like the way he approaches the fight. So if I get a fight out of those call outs, I want it to be Nick Ball, and then I want it to be Stephen Fulton after that.
I agree wholeheartedly. And actually, I feel like that's almost a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
But then again, you never really know how great a person can be till they get that chance. And so, Shu Shu may be great. He just hasn't had the chance yet. So, we'll see. Obviously, he's going to get a fight soon at some point. He's right there, or if he doesn't move up. But aside from that, moving on to the Brian Norman Jr. TKO of Derek Cuevas in round 3. I think this was your first time watching Brian Norman Jr., was it?
Yeah.
Tell me what your impressions were of the young man.
Wait, was this the co-main event?
Yeah.
He just watched that guy, didn't he? Like it wasn't much of a fight, right?
He ate a few shots in the first round, but came out second round and it was left hooks for days, man.
Yeah, see, I had never seen Derek Cuevas ever before. Like I guess he showed up, not like he didn't he rolled over or anything like that. But yeah, Brian Norman was he was impressive. Definitely got popped and move around a little bit. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him a little bit higher in the rankings. What weight class was that?
He is a welterweight and he is a champion.
Okay, so yeah,
about as high as you can get. He could be unified and be a little higher.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what's next for him. Then definitely unifying. No, he was impressive. Like I said, pop got some pop, got some good feet. But yeah, I can't really put a measuring stick on him with that type of opponent, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a small sample size. I've only honestly seen. First time I remember seeing him was against Giovanni Santillan, where I thought Santillan was going to wash the dude. He knocks him out in this brutal knockout, and then comes back and does this to this fella. Now he ate some shots and he made an adjustment that I thought was pretty smart. But either way, I think he could have just forgotten whatever adjustment he was going to make and just throw that left hook, dude. It was wild fast and wild powerful. And there's not a lot of people who can handle a couple of those, even Boots Ennis, who does get hit from time to time, another champion at that weight class. But then we go on to the,
No, he's not.
Disagree?
I don't know, man. Look, he's like I said, fast got pop. I don't know, man. Boots Ennis, I'm very impressed with Boots Ennis. I think he's slick. Yeah, he gets hit from time to time, but I think he gets hit from time to time because he doesn't respect his opponents and he knows that they can't hurt him. And so there's two sides to that coin. One, when does it start? When does he start respecting his opponents? Is it never? Is it going to be too late? Or does he already know when he gets in there, this guy can't hurt me? He feels me for the first time, and it's like, okay, let's go in here and do the inside fighting. And if I get hit, I get hit. I don't know. I'm very impressed with Boots Ennis, and if they make that fight, I want to see it. I'd like to see it, but I don't think Norman's just going to be landing that left hook. Definitely not at will, and I don't think he's going to land it enough to win in the fight. That's fair.
It's not. I don't want there to be any mistake about me not rating Boots Ennis highly. I rate him incredibly highly. The way he moves, his poetry, I love his style. Everything about it. He does some very slick stuff defensively, some very slick stuff offensively. I don't think he has no defense, but he does get hit. And, if that's not something I don't know if it's not on the top of your priority list. I guess I just haven't seen, and we're going to see it in his next fight against, starts with an S, pretty sure, Montestanionis.
Stanionis?
Yeah, Montestanionis, who is a monster. So we're going to see what happens when he gets hit and it hurts. We're going to see what happens, and then that's a great place to judge. I'm just saying, and I would favor Boots by a lot against Brian Norman Jr. as of right now, but I'm just saying that when you got a punch that powerful, that fast, and if you can land it, I'm not saying you can land it at will, but if you can land it a couple of times on the button, like anybody can get knocked out. And I think he's got a little bit more than a puncher's chance against him. But aside from, but
he's got good mic skills. He was on the mic.
He does.
Off after the fight. I like that. I should.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. The way he talks is awesome. I love that Southern drawl he's got, and it seems to be like just old Southern attitude in general, like country shit, which is my shit. Like, I like the dude a whole lot, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But anyway, main fight: Sandy Ryan, Mikaela Mayer. I will just say it was a unanimous decision with Mikaela Mayer winning over Sandy Ryan. 2 scores of 97-93, 1 score 98-92. I'll give my thoughts on this after you. How did you feel about this fight?
Great fight. I had it with the third judge. I had it 98-92. 8 rounds to 2 for Mikaela Mayer. Ryan took the second and the 7th round for me. Other than that, pretty one-sided for not one-sided, but like round by round scoring, one-sided for sure. The rounds were close at times, and Sandy came out hot. She came out strong. She took a different approach this time, and she came out trying to box Mikaela Mayer, which I didn't expect. I don't think Mikaela Mayer or her team expected. I think her former trainer in Ryan's camp told her to do that. Well, obviously she told her to do that, but I think he told her to do that because he doesn't feel like Mikaela Mayer can beat a boxer. And Mikaela Mayer proved that absolutely incorrect. Ryan was doing a good job of moving and catching and countering until Mikaela Mayer, I feel like, made the adjustment, realized how she was approaching the fight, completely changed the way she was approaching the fight, pressed her without pressing her, and then put her 100 punches on her. Like that's just how Mikaela fights, no matter who it is. And she came out, she outworked her, she outlanded her. She probably heard her a couple of times. I think Ryan heard her 1 or 2 times as well. But yeah, dominant performance from Mikaela Mayer. No excuses this time. She's no disrespect to Sandy Ryan because she showed that she's a great fighter in these last 2 fights for sure, and in fights before that. But after the last fight, she said she felt like she would have won if that random person hadn't thrown paint on her leg, and that was a whole fiasco.
The air quotes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was a whole fiasco. But at the end of the day, they rematched and she beat her worse. It's like that chapter is closed. Excuse me. There's nothing more for them.
I agree. I don't think they need to rematch at all. I thought Mayer won last time. I thought she just. I mean, I want to say dominated, but she didn't dominate. But man, she that girl. She levels up every single time I see her fight. So every time she takes a big fight, it jumps up and shows more wrinkles than I didn't know she had. And this has been consistent against Baumgardner again, and then recently against Jonas. Just phenomenal. And then I feel like, in my opinion, Mikaela Mayer's undefeated, but her record has 2 losses. But even if I take them at face value, they were very close. I think both of them were split decisions. And she's always on the level of whatever champion she's facing. And then she got to I like what she did last time against Ryan, but it was a lot closer. And I think that you were onto something when you said that Ryan came out this time trying to box more. Obviously, I guess she was more mad the first time. And I think that that's actually what helped her more in the first fight, was being unpredictably aggressive and making Mikaela make the adjustments. This time, I think they both had their game plan. And you're right. I think that Ryan showing her cards early made Mayer make this adjustment that I bet she's been wanting to make for a while of like, oh, if you're going to box it, I'm going to come at you. And I mean, I love the volume. I love the shot placement. I love the shot selection. I like every tool in her bag. I love it. My favorite performance of hers by a long shot, and I love so many of her performances. And don't let me make it sound like it wasn't competitive. It was competitive at times, and I think that Ryan is a fantastic fighter. She was one of my favorite women fighters going into the first fight, but Mayer's been up there for me for a while. So it's like battle of who's going to stay in Dallas Owens' top 5 women fighter. You know how they're all trying to, they
Oh
all
yeah,
want to
they
get
all
up in my top 5.
yeah.
But I still rate her so highly. She lost to
Yeah.
Mikaela Mayer. There's nothing wrong with that. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say just back on the approach for them two. I think Mayer did a great job, like I said, of adjusting, and I think Ryan let a little bit of too many of those rounds get away from her trying to box, and I think probably around 5 or 6 she was like, okay, I probably lost the last 3 rounds, or her corner told her I probably lost these last 3 rounds, and then she had to push the pace on Mikaela Mayer, which takes them right back to the last fight. And Mikaela Mayer did exactly what she did on her last fight. You can push the pace on me, but you're not going to outwork me and you're not going to outpunch me. I can move horizontally. I can stop you from cutting off the ring without just going face to face with you and not taking a step back. I can do that while still out punching you, while still working the body, while still throwing combinations, pivoting. It's just honestly brilliant how she does it. I would say my favorite Mayer performance is Amadouche, though, which was kind of similar to her first fight with Ryan. She comes forward at her and she's like, okay, I can't go nowhere but besides this ring. I'm moving vertically, and I'm finding a way to outpunch you. I think she probably pushed Amadouche a little bit more because she's a much bigger girl. But yeah, classic Mikaela Mayer performance. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for her here at 147. She says she feels a lot better after her first fight, and now she's gonna try to collect the rest of the belts.
Yeah, I believe that was her third fight, first defense, because I think the first welterweight was Natasha Jonas.
Yeah.
And I mean, this fight, I mean, she looked, first time when she fought Jonas, I was like, she's a welterweight for sure. She fits in there. Against Sandy Ryan, I was like, she might be a little, like, not quite filled out enough for welterweight, but she's close and her skills make up for it. And then, man, she had power, and I think she felt that she had power. And like you said, when Ryan realized that she was behind and was going to have to start pushing the pace, it was Mikaela Mayer's a boxer, like a true boxer, but she's also very mean, and also now she can freaking punch. So I mean, she dogged it out. Like, she didn't have to, and she dogged it out just, I think, for her own self-assuredness, and it was fantastic, just fantastic performance all around.
I just think when Mikaela Mayer gets in there with some of these girls, she just tells herself like, she can't hurt me, and I think she was convinced that Amadouche couldn't hurt her. She was convinced that Baumgardner couldn't hurt her. She was convinced that Ryan couldn't hurt her, and she knew that Natasha Jonas couldn't hurt her. So I think just the approach is like, it will never be Mikaela Mayer saying, okay, I need to step back and box until she gets hurt. She is okay with going in the firefight with her, no matter how good of a boxer she is. Until she gets hurt, she's gonna be in the phone booth with you as much as you want to be.
Yeah, her inside fighting is great, especially for somebody as tall as she is. Like, I don't know. I just love those tall, good inside fighters. It's some of my favorite types of fight. Rafael Espinoza, Fundora can get down in the inside. Mikaela Mayer can get down on the inside. Gabriela Fundora, that girl can get down on the inside. But what interests me, because you say, when you said she's probably not going to find somebody that can actually hurt her in the ring, is there's been talks, and I want to just dismiss them out of hand, but we'll go ahead and entertain this, that she could move up to 154 and meet Claressa Shields there. Now, they're old friends, but I think they both also are very competitive, and I think that they both want a mega fight, and that's pretty close to a mega fight in the women's thing. I don't want it to happen personally. I love both fighters, and I feel like the weight disparity at this point is too big. Somebody's going to give something up, going one way or the other. Shields will give up a little bit now that she's become a heavyweight, light heavyweight, and Mayer would give up just general size, strength maybe towards Shields if she were to move up. There are other options that I want to go over later, but how do you feel about Mikaela Mayer and Claressa Shields meeting at
No,
154 and going at it?
as a boxing fan, I want that fight. As a fan of Mikaela Mayer's, I do not want that fight. As a fan of Claressa Shields, I do want that fight. So I'm
So
down
two out of
for it.
three.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. I'm down for it. I don't like that fight for Mikaela Mayer. Claressa Shields is just so goddamn fast, dude. And you're talking about somebody coming up in weight versus somebody coming down in weight. Usually, one of them has a speed advantage, and it's not the person coming down in weight. So you got a
Yeah.
speed, power, and size advantage coming from somebody who is not even arguably the better boxer, the more accomplished fighter. You could probably the most experienced fighter. Like that. That's just a recipe for disaster for Mikaela Mayer, who probably can't hurt her. Um, yeah, I don't like that fight for Mikaela Mayer. But she's gonna. Yeah. Out of what do you think?
I think Mayer would almost without a doubt push Claressa Shields in a way she hadn't been pushed in a while. Uh, I thought Savannah Marshall pushed her, but her reaction to that was being so much better that it was undeniable. I'm afraid that she would also do the same thing. Again, huge Mayer fan. I don't want that. Shields fan. Yeah, I could see why you would want to do that. I think it's good for her to be sitting at super middle, light, heavy, heavy. I think those are her weight classes. She seems really comfortable there, and she seems stronger than ever. I mean, she almost knocked that gigantic girl down with one arm.
Yeah.
She's so strong now, and I think she needs to keep that strength. And there was a recent debut a couple weeks ago of a super middleweight lady. I think that those weight classes will fill out now that she's there. She's always been unfortunate in that she's in the higher weight classes of the women's divisions, and there's just not a lot of star power. But she is the star power, not as much as she should be, but she is the star power there. And I think that her being there is going to create larger divisions where she's not having to find somebody with 5 fights to become a heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Mayer would push her. I don't think she would win that fight. I wouldn't be crazy surprised if she was able to pull it off because she's got the skill. I think she would have the height and reach advantage, but that's like about it. And I think that Claressa Shields' skills are also maybe a level above. I hate to say that because her level is about as high as it can get, but I think that
Yeah.
Shields is she's like one of them once in a generation special kind of folks. But
Absolutely.
I think I'm much more interested in the other two prospect fights of hers, which is for one becoming undisputed against Lauren Price or fighting for undisputed against Lauren Price, who is scary. We
Yeah.
saw what she did to Jonas, especially like you do boxing math. Mikaela Mayer did this to Jonas. Lauren Price did this to Jonas. I don't think they're apples to apples comparisons. I think that Jonas lost a step sometime between those two fights. And it seemed like to me it seemed like an older fighter who saw the shots but couldn't pull the trigger when she was fighting Price. But Price, like, that's not to take away from what she did. She's so strong. She's so fast. She's legitimately a smart boxer. Incredibly difficult to beat. The only person I think that has a chance to beat her is Mayer in that weight class, and I think I would even favor Mayer just from the experience standpoint. But how do you feel about that one in particular?
I would also favor Mayer. Yeah, experience is a giant factor there. I feel like Natasha Jonas did lose a step, but I think also like there's a much bigger risk factor that fighting and counter punching and punching in between combinations with Lauren Price has that a lot of fighting a lot of women don't have. So I think that changed Natasha Jonas's approach and how she, how she got off, and how she approached it. I don't think Mikaela Mayer has to worry about that too much, just because she's a couple of inches taller than Lauren Price. I think she has a significant height and reach advantage. I think she is probably the naturally bigger girl as far as like overall stature. I think Lauren Price is like swoller, and she's obviously jacked.
She's swoller. There's no doubt in my mind. She's more swole.
Yeah, she's definitely jacked. But she's really fast too, and she's mean. So there's nothing to there's no way you're gonna dismiss her and act like she can't win this fight. She definitely can, but I would give Mikaela Mayer the edge because of the experience, because of the dog that's in her, because of the will, the want to become undisputed. Like, it's really hard to line up with Mikaela Mayer and it not be the worst night of your life. So I'm excited for that fight. Like I said, I like Lauren Price. She's a great fighter, and I think she'd definitely do well for herself. But if that fight is next, then hey, I think Mikaela Mayer is finally going to be undisputed like she's wanted to for so long.
I think I tend to agree, and I want that fight to be next. Listening to listening to Chris Mannix on his podcast this week, he does not like that fight for Mikaela Mayer. I think he's drastically underestimating Mikaela Mayer. He thinks that Price is going to just like demolish her. I think maybe the point he was trying to make was that it's not the biggest money it could be. The risk isn't worth the reward. I think the reward of being undisputed in a when you're towards the kind of the back half of your career is enough for Mikaela Mayer. I think the competitor in her is what's kept her in the pros for as long as she has. But she's not just making gobs and gobs of money when you compare her to other champions in the men's divisions. I think it is the competitiveness and wanting to taking out a champ as Lauren Price to become undisputed at welterweight. I think would be exactly what she wants, and I think that's exactly what she can do. I'm for it. I want it to happen. Disagree with Chris Mannix.
Yeah, and Mikaela Mayer's competitiveness has got her this far as well. Like she didn't start boxing until she was 19 years old. She was in a band and doing all this and that, and barely got into the game. There's nothing more important than being undisputed. There's no risk reward factor balancing here. The only thing is for Mikaela Mayer is become undisputed. Like that's it. I feel like if Mikaela Mayer got knocked out by Lauren Price, the very next day she would say, "I want to fight her again." That's just how she rolls.
I agree.
Like there's no decision making process in here. I don't know if Chris Mannix is trying to kind of water it down by thinking like Lauren Price is just definitely gonna win. But I think that's a no brainer for Mikaela Mayer. Go make that fight, better or worse, win or lose.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. And then the other matchup, we don't have to talk about it for too long, is somehow getting Alicia Baumgardner at 130 pounds to come up to 147 or meet her at 140 or something and get that rematch. Yeah. I don't want to give it a lot of thought because of the difference in weight classes they're in now. I do want to give it a lot of thought because of the build-up. Mikaela Mayer is like the nonstop beef queen of boxing, right? Like she's got the best beefs and they last the longest, and I don't think they'll ever go away. Like I love the way she operates inside and outside the ring. Even with her friends like Sinisa Estrada, she's got beef with most of the time, and it's awesome and hilarious. I love that rematch happening. I don't think it's happening anytime soon, and I don't think Baumgardner wants it, to be honest. Not only is there a good chance she's going to lose that fight when she's trying to build her career back up, but also I don't think she just wants to give Mayer the satisfaction of getting the rematch. I mean, that's more or less most of my thoughts on that whole situation. I just don't think it's going to happen. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'll kind of piggyback off of what Mikaela Mayer said herself. Now that Alicia Baumgardner has signed with Jake Paul, a lot of more things are capable. they've got the money to make that happen. She might not want to give Mikaela Mayer the shot. She might not want to fight her again. But if Jake Paul writes that check and puts a number in front of her that's really going to move the needle and change her life, then I think she fights her again. They can meet at a catch weight. One of them can go up or go down. I think it is possible. I like the opportunity of the potential of the fight. Obviously, the first fight was amazing, and like you said, the Mikaela Mayer is the beef queen, the soundbite queen. Like, I don't know if you.
I don't think she's gonna love the nickname Beef Queen. I think we should probably
the queen.
Think of a different way to say that.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's the queen of the beef, whatever it is. She come with the beef. She come with the smoke. I don't know if you had already switched over, but during or if you went back and watched the post fight interview, but
no, I missed it.
They asked her like, are you burying the hatchet? Like, is this everything that you expected? This and that, woo, and she said, pretty plainly, I wanted to beat her ass, and that's what I did. That's all. That's the only thought she got on the beef with Sandy Ryan. It's over. I wanted to beat her ass, and I did. And when I tell you, Mikaela Mayer stands on business, that's exactly what I mean right there. So yeah, I want to fight again. I want to hear what they talk. I want to hear what they say to each other, and I want to see the fight. I want them to make it happen. One of the two. Either one is great. I'd obviously want her to be undisputed first, because that would make this fight move the needle a little bit more, settle it a little bit more. And I want her to be undisputed because she's wanted to be undisputed for so long. But if it's Alicia Baumgardner next, no problem whatsoever. Make the fight.
The MVP signing didn't even occur to me. I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, and if Mikaela Mayer does become undisputed next, that makes moving up 2 weight classes to fight her way more worth it for Alicia Baumgardner, and they'll both probably make a whole lot more money. I thought of a different nickname. It's actually going to be Rivalry Royalty instead of Beef Queen. Rivalry Royalty. Okay. A little bit of a tongue twister. Doable. Sounds better than Beef Queen.
Eagle on the track.